So we talked to a number of people around the country, and here's what they said to us in a nutshell.
I like to have a sense of what's going on in the world, whether that be through people emailing me articles or me looking myself.
When it comes to my work, I just feel more in control.
You feel settled in a way. Everything is here, so you have that energy.
Several people in my life will send me random things that just kind of bring a smile to my face. I feel connected that way. It's just a sense of kind of belonging, and that's important to me.
Last week I checked in on Facebook. 15 minutes later, someone came to the bar and said, "Oh, I just happened to go on Facebook," and she has the thing on nearby, so she just came to surprise me. It's pretty cool how that social community can kind of steer you in that direction.
Yeah, I definitely don't like to be weighed down. I like things to fit in whatever purse I'm carrying, or if it's necessary, a pocket. Spontaneity is important to me, so being able to just pick up and figure things out on the go with the phone and the iPad.
When I get like a cool email from Living Social and bought like 2 Yankee tickets for $25. That's something 20 minutes before I had no idea it was going to happen.
I can make reservations for a restaurant, or I can say, oh, I heard there's really good food over here, but I don't know the exact address. Let's look it up, or let's call and see if they're open. You associate certain places with memories or things you like, like a good cup of coffee or a great fruit stand.
These things become such a part of everyday life that the less they become to something external, the more they become sort of part of you.
High school is really big into taking pictures and getting them developed and putting them in albums. It seems a lot easier and quicker to just scroll through a photo. It does make me feel good having those memories close. I don't exactly know why. Just, I guess, a sense of security and comfort.
For me, there's still that mindset that the smaller it gets, the lighter it gets, the more functional it is.
If it was bigger, would that not indicate some sort of slowness, you know? And I think it would. And I don't know why.
Because it's in my pocket, I somehow squeeze this time in for various things. And only because I think it just sits in my pocket.
So we're going to reference a number of these quotes throughout the presentation. But one thing I have to say before we dive into how we make meaning here, and we found actually 3 fundamental ways in which we ascribe meaning or create meaning, powerful meaning, in the mobile space. But before I jump into that, I have to address something that is so obvious, which is the size of this thing, right? The smallness. You started hearing some of the folks at the end of the video talking about that. Now, of course, we love the smallness of it because it means you can put it in your pocket and you can take it everywhere, right? However, when I talk to my creative friends, right, the guys in the advertising agencies, even in the digital spaces, and folks like yourself, they're all saying, I don't know if I want to go here. I want to do my 30-second spot. I want to do my 60-second spot. And in fact, when we reached out to our friends at the Creative Labs, right, and they are some of the best creatives in the world, we asked them, how come the creatives are not sprinting to the mobile space? We all have them, right? We all have these mobile phones. They're with us 24 hours a day. And here's the email we got back. This is from someone at Google. The canvas is small. But the thing is, what we discovered from our research is that this smallness is not an inhibitor. It's actually extremely powerful. Why? Because in anthropological theory, and you've probably experienced this yourself, there's a lot of symbolism, a lot of power in the small. Why? It reminds us of toys. And why are toys so powerful? If any of you have children, you probably see this every day. Because they are stuff that looks like they're real, right? Like miniature cars or houses or trains. And they've got little steering wheels, and you've got the little mini bathtubs and little mini kitchens in there. But they're not real, right? You can handle them. You can take care of them. You can play with them. And therefore, you catapult yourselves out of the everyday and start going into the realm of fantasy and imagination. They become portals, if you will, for your sense of creativity, for your sense of imagination. And therefore, the smallness is actually not small in effect, but quite gigantic. And it's because of that smallness that you actually imbue that much more value, that much more meaning, that much more creativity. Just a little example of this that brings it to life, and forgive me, it's kind of grainy, but here's an example. Are you familiar with this Heineken app? It was for football. It was in Africa. They did a couple of years ago. And basically, what this is a game where at the actual stadiums, the participants, right, those people who are actually spectators of the sport, could, within seconds, they could try to figure out who they think is going to actually make the goal. You know, this is football, this is soccer, this is European football, right? And so they felt, and they would do it through this, only through their phones, right? And they felt like they were actually playing the game because it was through the rabbit hole of the small that they could predict the score. And then if they predicted correctly and the actual player hit the goal, you know, hit the ball in the goal, they won, they got some points. So let me just show you a clip from the video itself. So not the players, but the spectators felt like they were playing the game. Now, because of this miniatureness, as I said, of the mobile phone or the mobile device, we actually attach that much more meaning. And how do we do it? We saw it in 3 ways. One, that it allows us to assert our idealized sense of self, what we call the quicksilver self. Second, it helps us create a sense of shared culture, what we call new tribalism. And third, it helps us make meaning with the physical places and spaces that surround us, and we call that placemaking.